We
Definitely.
did Greenville 1. We're going to Greenville 2. Number 1 seed in that region, the Indiana Hoosiers.
That is a team that I think there is, for me, is a lot of question marks. I think their region is kind of soft. And so their regular season schedule, I think is a little bit of a cakewalk. So I wasn't surprised by the number one seed because where they were in the rankings, but I, they might be a fraudulent number one.
Ooh. The second team to get the number 1 Safaja one. Nice. All right. They will get the winner of the Tennessee Tech and Monmouth game. That game takes place tomorrow. Let's see. Let me look at my phone here. That is tomorrow 9 p.m. on ESPN2. So
I think regardless of who they play, they make it to the next game, the next matchup. They are a good team, and I say this a lot. They're a good team, but to me, they just don't stick out as somebody that has like a great team. Like you see that they just have special chemistry like that. Now they are lights out shooting. They can put some points up on you. So I think this first game, whoever they play, I think this matchup's gonna be very outweighed. Like they're definitely gonna put up a lot of points
here's
on you.
my thing though, to kind of buffer your point, not intentionally though.
It's
If they
okay.
play Tennessee Tech, they might find themselves in a battle for about 3 quarters. I'll watch
Okay.
Tennessee Tech,
And I hope
and
so.
Tennessee Tech got some feisty girls. So
Okay.
that
Well, I don't know a whole lot about Tennessee Tech. I'll be honest. The games that I've watched out of these is Indiana, and so for me, I mean, and that maybe that is possible. Maybe they can't might be able to upset Indiana because that would kind of coincide with what I had to say that I don't think Indiana should have been a number one seed, or not that they got it unfairly, but I just think that they're overrated.
hmm, I'm gonna come back to that. I'm gonna come back to that because my question was about a number 1 seed, but it wasn't even yet. 8-9 matchup: Oklahoma State and the Miami Hurricanes. Good gracious, this is oh Lord have mercy.
This is a tough matchup. I'm gonna go OK State just because I feel like their program just has a rich history in women's basketball. So, not to say that Miami doesn't, but I saw Oklahoma State once again hand out key losses this season. And so, while they're an eight seed, I think they are a team that has some bright spots.
This is the part of the show that I think include my Florida girls in this one because if I
I get
remember
it.
correctly, my ladies dropped off to about a 12-0 record. They weren't the only ones. Florida State was off to a good start. Miami was off to a
Right.
good start. What the hell happened to my Florida for my to my Florida teams?
It's been one of those seasons.
Florida's not in the tournament. I don't remember seeing Florida
Right.
State in the tournament. Miami is a 9 seed. South Florida is a what 9 seed as well. What
Yes.
this Florida school was off to like undefeated starts? I was like, oh, so we picking up where we left off last year. Great.
Right.
What
Right.
happened?
You know, and it was the opposite for me. My team had a rough start because our point guard was injured for a while, and then our one of our forwards tore her knee up in the first part of the season, and then we got better in the second half of the season. So, it's a long season. A season where they play 27 games, like it's a long season for them.
Like, unfortunately, I gotta agree with the Queen of Hills. I gotta go OK State because I don't know what happened to
Okay.
Miami.
Now in the next matchup, I'm actually going with the Florida
Like,
team.
I'm trying to figure out what happened with, but ooh, is that's the 5-4 matchup? We have the winners, the winners of the
Yeah.
Pac-12, the Cougars of Washington State, and they
Yeah, they did get that. But and I think Pac-12 is the toughest conference in women's basketball. Their regular season, their conference play is just tough. But Florida Gulf Coast, if you remember last year, they made it in. They had Kirsten Bell, who plays for the Vegas Aces. They have a program over there that is a women's basketball school for sure. If there's anybody that I feel like can come in the tournament and hand out an upset, it's Florida Gulf Coast for sure. Now, not to say that Washington State is a bad team; they're a good team. They're a really good team. They're just in a really tough conference. But Florida Gulf Coast, what do they have? Three losses?
They
Two
are.
losses?
Let's see here. What's the 32-3? And
That's what
and
I'm
those of
saying.
you who watched yesterday, so y'all know how I feel about teams that win 30 plus games. I don't take those lightly. You don't win 30 games for no reason.
Right. Right, exactly. It doesn't matter what conference you're in. You take that
And
serious.
another thing that I take serious is a team like Washington State, who basically came out of nowhere
Mm,
and took the Pac-12. Your beloved Stanford Cardinals was one of the victims.
I know.
You said
They're not my team because I'm not a team hopper. They're not my team.
she knows
Um,
why I said that. She
but
knows
I
why I said that.
I love I love Haley Jones. I mean, I love the whole program over there at Stanford. I mean, you have an amazing coach, tons of good players over there. But I'm a huge
I
Haley
had to
Jones
make sure
fan.
I wasn't tripping. Like, hold on, did that really just? Hold on, Washington State. Hold on, did I look at the right one? Yeah,
No,
Washington
you
State.
know who went to Washington State? Kelsey Plum went to Washington
And I was
State.
like, yeah, man, nope, I ain't got that wrong. Good gracious. Oh Lord, they gonna kill me for this, but I'm gonna roll with the hot team. I'm gonna
Okay.
roll with the hot team. I might change it later because I still got the Friday. But Washington. I mean, when you win that conference tournament the way they remember Kentucky did the same thing last year because nobody expected them to knock off. Matter of fact, first of all, ain't nobody expect Kentucky to get that far, and second, they ain't expect them to knock off South Carolina. Same thing with Washington State. Nobody expected them to get that far and to win the whole thing. So I'm gonna rope the hot hand on that one.
Okay, I get it.
And speaking of hot hands, a team that I wish they was hot, but they haven't ran the Yukon twice in like the last 3 games. The Villanova Wildcats,
Right.
that's your 4 seed, taking on Cleveland State. Ooh, ooh, that's a
That is a
ooh.
tough matchup for Villanova. And it is a high pressure year for the ladies because the guys didn't get in. So one of the blue blood teams didn't get in. It's a rebuild over there for them, new coach on the men's side of things, and so the women's side of things, like all eyes on them, all the pressures on them, and I think that sets you up sometimes for an upset.
I ain't doing it. I'm going.
I'm not
I'm
picking Cleveland State, but they are a tough team.
Cleveland State. I seen y'all a very tough team. Y'all might battle. But the simple fact that they got they behind smoked by UConn again might be a problem. And that's the last time we saw them, and them getting smoked by UConn again.
Right.
So I don't think you want to be Cleveland State coming into this game because I think Villanova gonna have something to prove.
Mm-mm. Well, I'm gonna roll with Villanova, but I definitely have this game circled. Like, you want to keep an eye out on this game.
That brings me to our 6-11 matchup: Michigan and UNLV. It's been
Um,
a very long time since you can say UNLV for women's.
right, yeah. Now, if we were on the guys' side of things, I probably would pick UNLV for the upset, but I think I'm gonna go with Michigan on this one.
Oh yeah, I'm going Michigan. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go
Definitely.
a solid Michigan on that one. And I'm gonna go a solid this one too, because my 13-14 matchup is LSU versus Hawaii. Shout out to Hawaii winning the Big West, which I didn't see coming. But
Right, for making
yeah,
it.
you getting LSU. I'm sorry.
Yeah, a tough draw for your first matchup. LSU is a hot team. They were a number two team. They've fallen, but they're still a top 10 team. They have the number one transfer in this season in Angel Reese, and then her supporting cast is awesome. So And you have an amazing coach at the head of things over there. So LSU
And it was a
definitely
learning.
moving on.
They had to learn from South Carolina. There's levels to this, okay? There's levels to
Oh
this.
no, no, yeah. There's tiers. Like they had to, and I said that about LSU as well. Like they are I want to say a great team, but they're not quite the same as South Carolina. So they had to
They
take
had
a
to
seat.
learn. They had to learn.
They had to learn. They had to learn. There's a time and place for trash
Now,
talk. Um,
now a team, now a
SC
team,
was
now
not
a
it.
team who had a down year, in my opinion, as they seventh
Hmm.
seed in this region. I don't like they matchup. I trust me. I love NC State. Love the coach. I love their program.
Right,
But you
same.
got Princeton from the Ivy League.
Yeah, Princeton is an interesting team. Not necessarily known for their basketball program, but a team that really scratched and clawed their way into it this year.
I,
Um, they had to they had to get some real wins out there, not just their Ivy League conference. Like they had to go out and get some real wins, and for them to even be considered a 10 seed here. So I'm going Princeton.
7-10 upset. She's going Princeton. I think she's
Hmm.
reading my mind because I say this. I say it when I talk about the men's. I'm say with the ladies. Just because it's called the Ivy League, don't think they just book smart.
Right.
They take that smartness
Absolutely true.
and they applied it to the game of basketball. Oh, and
Absolutely
by the
so.
way, they make sure they have shooters too, so that's even more problematic. They smart and they
Yes.
can shoot. So I'm leaning Princeton, unfortunately, to
Okay.
the dismay of NC State. 2-15, Utah and Gardner Webb. I think Gardner Webb would keep this close for at least a half, but Utah's gonna pull away.
Right.
Utah's gonna pull away.
Ut- Utah's a 2 seed. They are a good team, and they're a good team in the best conference in women's basketball. So I think they're a team to be taken very seriously. Utah. I'm not down in Gardner Webb, but Utah is a very
I'm giving them
strong
a half
team.
because Utah a little scrappy, but it is Utah. By the way, I'm just saying, like not to sound like Stephen A. Smith, but it is Utah.